Alright guys, we're back with part 2 of my video. So what we're going to do is we have my Dremel. Like I said, you can buy it on my AutoZone. And I'm going to go ahead and sand off these little edges right in there so my morpher won't rub. So let's get started. I'm just going to show you, demonstrate how to do that. Okay, now that we have this sanded, you're going to want to smooth out the rough edges, so we're going to go over it one more time. Double check it. It's a little rough, but that's okay. What you can do is, I don't have it here, you can go to AutoZone, buy yourself some spot putty, take a razor blade, you take a razor blade, put a little spot putty on the razor blade, and then you just rub a little bit to smooth that out, and then you would take your superfine pad, or if you don't have any superfine, some 400 or 320 grit sandpaper. Take the sandpaper, fold it in half, and then just sand that like that. Should be okay. So, actually that works pretty good. So once we smooth that out, we'll do all these edges. So once you do all four, then we'll start the prep process, and then we'll do that right now. Oh, but when you guys take your stuff apart, something I forgot to mention, just put your screws and your stuff in some Ziploc bags or some little baggies. But yeah, so now we'll work on prepping this up. Alright guys, let's start prepping up the holster. We're going to take our gray scuff pad, and then you're just going to go over it like this. You know, it's going to leave small scratches. That's what we want. And you're going to do the whole thing. Doing the crevices. Scuff it down really good. And then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so now that we have all this scuffed up really nice, we're going to go ahead and scuff this up and your clips. You just scuff it up. You don't got to dig at it, you know, you just rub the scuff pad over it, you know, get in between here if you want, stuff like that. Same thing goes for this. Just scuff them up. Get it ready for the paint process. This is kind of what we do at work with raw texture bumpers, side view mirrors, stuff like that. We just scuff them up with this. So once you have all that scuffed up, and then we'll do the coin. So now we have our coin. I am doing the White Ranger, so I chose to paint this one over my Starlight Studio one, only because I like this design a lot better. And it clears the gaps between the plates a lot better because the Starlight Studio coin is a lot smaller. So let's get started. Just take our red scuff pad this time, and you just go over it. If you choose to paint the back, you can. I am not going to paint the back. So get in between the crevices, or you can use this one. So that's how you do that. And then I'm going to stop and go ahead and do it. Okay, the coin is done. So you can go ahead and, you can go ahead and scuff in between here with the red scuff pad and stuff like that. So now we got our coin done. We're going to go ahead and start prepping these for paint. Make sure you blow these off or take a paper towel and clean it and stuff like that before we do the adhesion promoter. So we're going to apply the adhesion promoter on this right now. Alright guys, now we're ready to apply our adhesion promoter. Make sure you wipe these plastic pieces down with some soap and water and then dry them off. So let's get started. What you're going to want to do is always do a test shot, just to make sure everything's spraying right. And you're going to want to apply some light coats. Some light coats. We're going to let that dry for about 2-3 minutes, and then we'll come back and we'll apply another coat. Alright guys, now we're here going to apply another coat. Again, do your test spray. I should be doing this outside, but it's cold as hell outside and it's snowing. Chicago doesn't want to stop snowing, so I'm doing this in my house. Make sure you have your windows open, wear your proper respirators, all that shebang. Do some light coats. And if you need to do one more, go ahead. Light, even coats is the key. Alright, now we're going to apply our third and final coat. You can make this one a little more heavier than the last two. Just make sure you get everything. Get the side of that. And we're going to make a part 3 too. I'm not going to have to break up the video. So that's it for your adhesion promoter. The next video is going to be the primer sealer.